today we have Rusty Oglesby, currently at John Paul II High School. He's a Tasco past president. He was at Winkler High School, won a state title there, went to the or won a couple more regional championships, had a couple more state finals appearance there. Like I said, he was our past president, and now he's currently vice president of membership, I believe, if that's correct, Rusty, for United Coaches?
Yeah, sure. I'm the fourth vice president. That just means whatever they tell me I do, I do.
There you go. So what, 3-4 years from now, he'll be the president of United Soccer Coaches. So
yes.
We got Rusty to come on and share some of those things with us. And Rusty, I'll turn it over to you.
Cool. How's everybody doing tonight? Can you unmute everybody? Is that cool?
They're all able to unmute if they'd like to.
Okay, cool. So guys, go ahead and unmute because it's a small group. So let's be very informal if y'all are cool with that. And then that way, if at any time y'all can talk, that's great. Is that cool?
Small kids and TV.
Oh, hey, I got it. My 10 months in there. Fred knows my 10 months in there raising hell right now about probably eating and not getting enough food or something. So yeah, totally understand. So chime in whenever you guys want to. You're not going to bother me. So if you mute however you want to, whatever you want to do, but don't be afraid to jump in and just be like, what the heck, and go from there. So just a quick check-in, kind of where's everybody from and all that kind of good stuff. Just I like to know. I don't think I know any of you guys. So where are y'all from?
Fort Worth ISD, Carter Riverside.
Oh, cool. Very cool. We're just around the road. I live up in Keller.
Same.
Don't ask me why I drive to freaking John Paul every day and past 72,000 ISDs on the way over there. But yeah, cool. What's up? Who else we got? Brian, where you at, Brian?
I'm over at Little Elm High School with
cool.
The girls' side.
Yeah, so my wife was over there. Corey Oglesby was the head. It was Copeland back then, I guess, but she was the girls' coach over there. Yeah,
I was an assistant with Langford for 2 years, and then
cool.
And left for Braswell for a year, and then now came over as the head coach over there now.
Ah, cool, man. Well done. Yeah, fantastic.
Dragged in by Langford.
Yeah, God bless Jimmy. Yeah, you can give Jimmy hell for not being on here tonight, then not representing Tasco, and tell him, I'll let him know. Ian, how about yourself, man? Where are you from? Disappeared. No, Ian. No worries. All good. Ian? Nope. Yep. Okay. So guys, just what I thought I'd kind of do is, been exactly where you guys obviously are. By no means am I sitting here as some guru of anything. The reality is I've leveraged kind of myself to get to a place where I wanted to be in my career. Obviously Frisco Wakeland shot that through the top. If I was at Marble Falls High School like I was 20 years ago, I'd still be I would not be doing this. I'd be sitting right where y'all are watching the same Tasco webinar. Actually, so it's still very humbling to kind of be on these calls. I still don't understand how I got here, and it's kind of cool to be here because I still see myself completely as one of you guys. And Fred can obviously attest to that. He's known me through some crazy days in life, and so I'm just very honored to be here with you guys. Please understand that at no point do I think I'm any different than y'all. So please, like I said, just please ask any questions you want about anything. I literally spend half my time during soccer season talking to guys like Fred and Austin Guest and Jason Venable and everybody, just trying to figure out the game of soccer myself. So I enjoy doing what I do. I love giving. This is kind of my way of giving back to the game that's kind of given me a whole new outlook of life and really changed my life. And so that's what, I just thank God for Tasco, the ability to get in there and get to doing that. And through Tasco, that allowed me to travel and meet people. And that brought me in touch with the great Tony DeChico and Shellis Heineman. And those guys kind of springboarded my career down a whole different path to United Soccer Coaches. And I woke up in January as the new VP somehow. So it was really, really crazy. We'd never had anybody from the state of Texas because obviously we're always in season. It's always really hard for somebody to try to get in with United Soccer Coaches. So I really wanted to kind of make my way into that. I think when I started, luckily through the help of Lisa Cole, I think you guys have had Lisa come even now in the last few years. I'm not sure when she was back, but the goalkeeper coach formerly with Tony DeChico and the Boston Breakers. But Lisa kind of took me under her wing and the United Soccer at that time, NSCAA still, was creating the Advocacy Council, where it was trying to get people involved in the game to exactly do what it says, to advocate for the game. So I was asked to come in because of the relationship with Tasco to be the advocacy chair for high school for the entire United States, which was actually, in my opinion, a more daunting task than being the VP. I feel like right now I've kind of, as you're a teacher and a coach, and all of a sudden you run into these guys that become the VPs of their associate principals or the assistant principals of their school, and they forget how it was to teach or be in the classroom. And I kind of feel like that's what being a vice president is like now. Is I actually did a whole lot more for the game of high school game as the chair of advocacy. And now I feel like I do more administrative duties and trying to work through all the process with our CEO and CFO. And I've seen more budget reports and everything else. I don't even remember what I got into United Soccer Coaches board for since COVID hit. So anyway, long story short, created the advocacy councils, and we'll talk more about that as I go through. I'm going to take y'all through the website and do a couple things here in a second, just to kind of give you an idea of what it's like to kind of what you can get from United Soccer Coaches. This is not a sales pitch by any stretch of the imagination. I just want y'all to be able to see what some of the resources are that now Tasco is really bought into for understanding what we're going to try to accomplish and how much the game can change for you, and some different resources that we can provide you guys as high school coaches to kind of give you that voice and start to be a better student of the game, understanding of the game, all that kind of good stuff. So if that's cool with y'all, then what we'll do is I'm going to jump on over. You might have any questions as we get started. Is there anything you need to know or ask about me, or just rock into this website and just take a look for just a little bit? Is that cool? All right, cool. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Turn off the nasty stuff on my search engine here, so I don't show anything. Just kidding. Let's see, it should be that one. All right. Cool. So it's funny though, just so y'all know what Fred and I were talking about a minute ago is my renewal date's 5 days from now. So to get my discount, because I still have to pay as the vice president, I had to call for or work through Fred to get signed up now so that I can get my Tasco discount, because it's cheaper to go through my state association than it is to go straight to my national organization. So I'm definitely just like you guys. But some of the things I just want to kind of point out to you as we go through this tonight is here, as you come in and you log into the website or whatever, advocacy is the first place I always try to talk about. I mean, here's our vision statement and diversity statement and all that kind of stuff. It's a little bit different, but then as you come in, I clicked on advocacy so that you could kind of just start seeing like, what is advocacy? What is it all about? What does that fall into, and how important is it? When and I know it sounds cheesy, but like a couple years ago, we did the uniform change, right? Where you could start wearing colors at home and everything. Because our point to that was, well, we got to try to see what we can do. So we petitioned the NFHS to kind of make that change. Got to sit with the NFHS and find out at that time that to make a new rule through the NFHS, our governing body for rules, you actually had to have all that stuff in by November to vote for it in January for the NFHS to vote for it in January to implement for the following year, if that makes sense. And in order to do that, you also couldn't just walk in. I can't just pick up a phone and say, hey, I got this great idea for a deal. We actually had to you have to present it through a state association. So we've actually used Tasco a couple of times, Ohio, a couple of bigger states that are big in soccer, to actually go in and kind of write those new laws of the game, for lack of better words, and send it in. And so we actually got that approved, and it seemed kind of cheesy at the time, but we just had to see if we could even advocate for ourselves. And that was kind of our first starting point. I don't know about y'all, but I kind of got tired of being at my home school wearing a white uniform. Then we go on the road and I wear my colors and nobody got to see our cool uniforms, right? So that was why we changed that, just as a stupid little deal. But that's where it kind of, just something cheesy like that is where this all started. The next thing we really started implementing was we pushed for the high school coach of significance. And so that's an award. It doesn't have to be about anybody that wins anything. We've got a couple of coaches that have won this for the state of Texas, and I've got to meet them when I'm up at the convention. But it's really about just, if you know a coach that's actually doing something really awesome and they're a great person and everything, it's what it's all about, is just putting people up for awards to do that kind of stuff. Anyway, as you go through advocacy, there's some different things that are all in here. So I just wanted y'all to know that that's kind of where that goes into. Here's what is advocacy, how to get involved, the council, just so you kind of get an idea of the makeup of that. So we have one chair, Sue Ryan. She's incredible. She's up at Stony Brook University up in in New York. And then you guys, oh, look, I'm still there. Wow, they haven't taken that down. I'm surprised they need to fire that dude. But as you go through this, you'll start seeing, so this is Greg Winkler here, and then next to him is Howie Putterman. So Greg's the boys advocacy chair for the United States, and Howie's the girls advocacy chair. Greg is actually going to be speaking at Tasco on the online clinic this year. We finally were able to get, because I could get a guy from Florida, and I know that they didn't have to spend any money except to give him a little tip for doing his deal. But Greg's an accomplished author, also is in the Hall of Fame up in Wisconsin, was there for 30 years, and then moved down to Punta Gorda, Florida, and he's living this, he's tan. I think this picture was taken. You can see we're all in long sleeves. Greg's still got a tan because he's down in Florida doing nothing, but complaining all the time. But this group right here really kind of makes up, all the different groups that we have. That's the CEO right there. And then Lee Gerald is the lady that's kind of in charge of helping administrate all of this. So just a great group of people. And that group, actually, Sue then takes all of their information and brings it to our board of directors, and actually has a voting membership on the board of directors. So anyway, as you go through there, the big deals I wanted y'all to see, though, too, was kind of, we were talking a minute ago, Fred, about the high school course and everything. These are all the different ways you can get in here and do it. If you haven't checked out any of these match day webinars, they were awesome. And I think they're still doing them. I've gotten so busy at school, I haven't been able to keep up with everything. Coaching through COVID, there's a great, I know we did a deal with, sorry, can you hear my baby crying? Sorry about that. Let's see, is that better? Corey's just beating Oakley down, I think, Fred. I don't know what's going on. Coaching through COVID was a deal that we put together, obviously, when all hell broke loose. And obviously at that same time, thank God the academy blew up, right? And so we were dealing with some of those conversations. So you can actually, if you're a member, you can actually go back and catch all of those different webinars that we did. That was really cool. The one we did for high school was talking about, again, high school and clubs kind of coming together. Obviously in the state of Texas, it's a little bit easier doing coaching, high school and club together. We don't deal with a lot of the junk, especially now that the academy's gone. We really don't deal with much of anything. We just kind of all do our own thing. It's amazing, though, when you talk to these guys up north, that how many people are just flat out against high school, or they're against club, and they don't coexist, and the dangers of all that. So it's really cool to hear some of the conversations. Christian Lefevre was on there. He's the director of ECNL, so it was cool to have him on there. Some of the diplomas that are coming out, I think in e-learning is where, let me see what this e-learning one is. I want to make sure I point y'all to the high school, the new high school course. Oh, okay. So here's a whole bunch of stuff I didn't even, like, this has all been updated in the last little bit. I didn't even know all this was on here. So here's just tons of information, different things you can do. I know that, let me see, membership. Okay, so if we go to membership in high school, this will give you more opportunities to kind of go through here. There's our two representatives, Greg and Howie. And shoot, I completely defer to those guys. The association programs, you can find links to all the different associations. Texas, obviously, we have TASCO in there. Here's high school education benefits. And then here's the available courses. This is what I was going to kind of click on. This is the big deal for us, the new push for us. Leslie Gallimore, she's fantastic. She's a past president, just finished up. But here's a lot of the different courses that you can take. And then we just came up with a new, brand new high school course. And I think, Fred, we can get that information out for you guys. We really need to get it up on TASCO, because it's literally a situation now where everybody can click on it and go and sign up through it. It's going to look great for us. But it'll also be a part. It'll also be a part of the clinic coming up for the too.
clinic.
All right, cool. So yeah, so with that, with the new one, what it's going to basically be is a series of webinars, right? So we've got guys, Ian Barker and Vince Gansberg, and a few of us are doing, a couple of other guys like me are doing a couple of sessions and different things like that. So you'll actually go in. It's going to be kind of pre-recorded stuff. You'll see some of the sessions, different things that are going on, and how that applies to the high school game, different things. And then you'll get in on like a Sunday. I think it's it's like an 8-week course. You get in on Sunday nights. You do these webinars or calls like we're doing right now. And then they record them. So if you miss one, you can go back and watch it. You have to log all that information. So it's like an advanced D course, I guess you could say, the old D course, but it's really geared towards our high school group and how we're trying to really package everything. And so it's just an outstanding course. It's totally been revamped. And it's literally about what we do at the high school game, right? So it's just going to give you a lot more information, different things like that. So, at the end of the day, all these different things, the big deal, obviously, I want you to check out, let's see, we haven't totally released everything. The convention this year, guys, for the first time ever for Texas is going to be a whole lot better for you guys. And we've been pouring our whole freaking life into this for the last few months. But January 11th through 15. So here's the digital convention. If you don't mind, I'm just going to play this so you guys can kind of catch up. Here's a cool little video.
Are we missing out on sound?
Uh-oh. Hold on. What did you say? Sorry.
Are we missing out on sound? I'm not getting anything.
Oh, that's good. Well, then we'll just not worry about it. I'll send you, Fred, I'll send you the link to that. Sorry, I didn't know that. I was just chilling out, watching the video. Yeah, just having a great time. Yeah, that's awesome. Honestly, it's really just kind of getting you grooved up. That's weird. I didn't know y'all couldn't hear that. I was hearing it. It was awesome, right in my ear. So Fred, we'll send the link out to that. And yeah, so basically the thing about what I wanted y'all to know, I don't know exactly how, Fred, you guys are doing Tasco's deal. I'm excited to be a part of watching it this year. That's going to be cool doing it, virtual, because, whatever, maybe I don't get to go down there or whatever with football season going on. So I'm excited for that. But the cool thing about this, the way United Soccer Coaches is doing ours this year, like you literally create like basically an avatar and you get to walk into a booth, right? And at that booth is Jose Mourinho, and you get to go sit in there and talk to Jose Mourinho, and he's literally there virtually. So some of the presenters, I sent it out to some of those guys the other night. Let me see if I can find this. I sent a list out, which I really wasn't supposed to, but sometimes you break the rules, right? To some of the guys the other day, and we, Jesse Marsh is going to be there. We are working on contract negotiations for Jose Mourinho to be a part of it this year. I mean, the list goes on and freaking on, and players and different things like that. So some of the people that we weren't able to get in the past, we're able to get because we can do a discounted situation with getting these guys in. And for the first time, everybody in Texas can actually have access to it, because you can't just usually fly up to Baltimore or Philly or whatever in the middle of your season. So you guys can maybe be a part of that this year, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Fred, you said, where'd that go? Let me pull that back up. Yeah, let Mandy in. How do I get back to that person?
I put it's under education there. For the master course list.
Yeah. Master course schedule.
I put the link in. Rusty, can you also let Mandy in? She's sitting in the attendee spot.
Yep. Let's see. I got Roman.
But there it is, right there. There's your high school diploma.
There you go. See, it just said allow to talk, promote to panel. Oh yeah, promote to panels. Got it. All right, she's in. She should be in. Yeah, there you go. So the high school diploma online. So that was really the kind of big push I wanted for you guys tonight to be able to take a look at, was just kind of see where that was, and all those kind of different things. So here you go. First phase requires candidates to complete 5 pre-recorded webinars on their own time with the portfolio work, and then requires candidates to attend 4 out of 6 live Zoom sessions with United Soccer Coach instructors. And then there's the kind of the dates and how we're looking at doing it, just breaking it up in different little areas. And if you guys don't know Vince is phenomenal. He's kind of the right-hand man for Ian Barker, who's the head of education for United Soccer, but Vince is really the brains behind it all. And is a former high school coach and just an incredible human being. And so just, I mean, these guys are willing to do anything, and they love Tasco. So they're willing to do anything for you guys. If you just call them or email them and say, hey, I'm a Tasco guy, can I get help with whatever? They're going to take care of you. So it's really cool to be able to work with those guys as much as possible. So hi, Mandy. How are you, Mandy? Sorry, I was late getting you in.
Oh, I'm good. Sorry, I was late joining, so we're good.
No, not a worries. Not a problem at all. I was just kind of going over some of the things that we do with United Soccer coaches and places to kind of catch up on some cool stuff on our website and everything. So that's all I was kind of doing right now.
Okay, that's good.
So yeah, just kind of working through that process. What about anything? Let's just kind of go through. I mean, look, the reality is I can take you through all the website, but you guys are not stupid. Y'all can do that anytime you want to. Look, the main benefits, if you're trying to decide, should I spend, let's just ask that. Yeah. Should I join United Soccer Coach? Is it worth the money or this, that, and the other? Look, I can tell you this, once you start doing it, you're able to submit. You know how many times we have awards like All-Americans and different things like that don't get filled because we just don't have people submit athletes. So sometimes people go, well, I had this kid that was better than that kid. I'm like, well, freaking hey, join United Soccer Coaches. Then all you got to do is submit the player for the rankings. Your teams can get ranked, different things like that. And so, you know, we kind of cheat the system a little bit sometimes with the Texas guys because our schedule's so weird that we'll allow a coach, you know, we'll pick All-Americans. We have the right people in place to help pick those All-Americans. And then we'll call the coach and say, hey, your kid got All-American, but you can't get the award for the kid unless you join. So we kind of at least give you a backdoor way in, but we're trying to get better at trying to get people involved so that everybody can start submitting their own players as being representative, similar like you do in Tasco. But it's an incredible situation to try to get these kids recruited. It's just, again, when you're trying to fight through the situation of club versus high school or getting together and coexisting, why not have a situation where you can actually promote your kids and show that you're pushing those kids through the high school game up through the national level to do these kind of things. And so we're just trying to give you guys the opportunity to see all those different ways that your kids can benefit from everything. So I pretty much just want to kind of turn it over. Also, I don't know, I can't remember if Tasco has this now. We actually, if you remember, we actually have $1 million liability insurance program also. So God forbid you run into a crazy parent or a school board situation or anything like that. We actually have $1 million policy that will kind of protect you through any kind of liability situations and stuff like that. So I hope you never have to use that, but that is something that's kind of cool to have and everything. So
I love using, I think it's under the education tab. I don't remember, but they have a whole ridiculous amount of sessions that are there.
Yeah. So Fred, online
resource library.
Online resource library. Yeah. So if you go to online resource library, so this is literally, especially like, you know, let's face it, most of us kind of have an idea what we're doing, guys, but maybe your assistant coach is not quite up to speed yet on everything. Oh, they've got it pulled down because they're doing a couple updates. So what Fred's saying is you can click on an online resource library and just go, gosh, I'm tired today. I don't know what I want to do, but I know we're running a 4-3-2-1 or a 4-2-3-1 or whatever. You just type it in and they'll bring up all the articles and planning sessions and different things. And all the sessions from all the greats through United Soccer Coaches are listed there with the diagrams and everything. You can literally print it out, take it right there to the field with you. I've done it so many times. And my assistant coaches, I've always told them, you know, hey, you know, for the first year, you have an opportunity to be on my account. But until that, you know, when that's over, you better get an account with United Soccer Coaches because you should never have to worry about going out and planning a session. You can literally click on it and just go out and coach a session. So it's an incredible way of doing it. something else to consider for at least another month, I think. When you go in there, we actually have on membership, if you go to join now, if I'm not mistaken, let me take a look at this real quick for you guys. Should have a free 30-day membership opportunity. So you can, free 30-day membership. So for 30 days, you can access 16 e-learning courses, have the resource library, all these different things. And then after 30 days, hopefully we can convert you if you think it's wonderful and great. Then obviously it's the way to go. Full membership's 125, but with Tasco you get it for, is it 90, Fred? So $35 discount. Okay. And then again, these are the kind of the benefits that are down here, for you guys. So enough for my spiel of what we can do for you on through a United Soccer Coaches. What I'd love to do now is just kind of open it up to you guys, and see if there's anything maybe that I can answer, or if there's anything you just want to talk about that has to do with the game or what I've seen and where we're going, or been in some crazy conversations in the last 6 months, that's for sure. So kind of just throwing a lot of stuff out there, but is there anything that's kind of on your mind that you want to talk about with me sitting here that maybe this old redneck can help you out with, or anything?
I've got my athletes 2 to 3 times a week in my district. We've got a new athletic coordinator. He wants to know how much conditioning or non-ball related work we're doing in our athletics time.
Did you tell him we believe in conditioning with the ball, and that what's the point of standing there and running?
That's what I've tried to explain, that I'm not just going to have them go off and run 2 miles. And our weight room's a little weight room, and I'm only allowed to put 8 players in there at a time.
Right. Sure.
55 athletes. So no, we're not worried about that stuff. We're
exactly.
Where we're at a 1 to 3 work ratio, where they're working for about a minute, and then we're doing something very light load for 3 minutes, or we're waiting for their turn to get back into the next round.
Sure. I would tell you, spend a lot of time when you're dealing with guys like that. Obviously, you'd love to say that we've crossed over the bridge of somebody being a coordinator and understanding their life and what's supposed to be going on. But the reality is, especially like where you are, let's just be honest, where you are, they're not going to hire somebody that gives whatever about what you're doing. And the only way they know how to relate it to is, can you line up and run 20-yard sprints 20 times down the field? Look, you're talking to a football guy here too, right? I'm the weird anomaly. So I talk crap about people because I am one of those people that can talk crap about my friends. And that's the reality of what we deal with. I'm lucky. I'm at John Paul II. We're a private school. I get it, but I get to coach with George T. Well, people go, oh, wow, you're with a Dallas Cowboy guy, right? Well, people don't know about George was until he was 17 years old. He was also a freaking all-state soccer player in Alabama, and he had to choose because that's what he was told. He had to choose, right? He's not regretting any of that, but he also gives me autonomy to go out there and, my favorite words now, in the days of COVID, we're only going to do certain things because we have such a limited resource of opportunity anyway, right? So right now, use COVID as your best excuse. But I mean, the reality is, like, we're the same deal. I love being in the weight room with my soccer players, but I've got only so many days. Like right now, we can't go after school on B days because football's out there and I'm out there coaching, and I can't do soccer. There's no field space. I can't take them into the weight room because basketball's in the weight room. So the reality is, I'm on a 3-day week. We're training 3 days, on a day for 3 days. I got them, and the next week I may only have them 2 days. So I'm no different really than what you are. And it's very difficult trying to come up with those things. And so I'm weighing my own self of how much. I thought about the other day. My season starts. Imagine this: my first game's November. Oh my God, my first game's November 9th. Wow, that's 2 weeks away. I'm not going to get any sleep tonight now. And we're not ready, right? We're not ready. There's no way. We know a little bit of soccer, but I guarantee we're going to go out and play the first game and have kids puking on the field because they're just not ready, right? And club's mentality is, well, let's just cram all these games into the fall and hopefully that they'll get in shape, and they don't even realize that they've done nothing. So these kids are not prepared. And the last thing they need to do is line up on a line and just go run sprints to try to get in shape, right? So I mean, I hate that. You're going to have to just kind of really work through. I try to research as much as possible, benefits of body recovery and management of sessions and different things like that. Maybe you can present to him. I don't know if he'd be open to that. He'll give me my freaking number. I'll talk to him. I don't care.
He's a new guy, so we're not sure about that.
Yeah. It's going to be brutal, right? But you know what I tell you? Stick to your guns. At the end of the day, you're the professional. You understand what you're doing. You know what's right for your kids. So you've got to weigh what's right for your kids versus pleasing one dude. I mean, I know he controls your ability possibly to be successful or your job, and I understand that. But I encourage you to stick to your guns and know what you're doing is right. You know what I'm saying? And God, that's brutal. You know, every time we think we're past that, and we hear stories like that where some guys coming in trying to dictate how to do your program. I'll never forget my first year at Red Oak High School. We were coaching, and Austin Guest was incredibly way on down the line understanding of the game than most people, and said, you know, we'd play a game on Tuesday night and he'd give them off on Wednesday. And our football coach called us in and ripped us. And, you know, he told me, I hired you because you're a football guy. And what are you doing letting this guy take soccer days off? Y'all should be out there practicing. I'm like, dude, we train all the time. These kids play club. We played a game. We got home at 12:30 in the morning. They were at first period and blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, we know the story, right? At the end of the day, why aren't we going out and training for 2 hours a day after a game when they've got no sleep and they got homework and all that stuff? So I started luckily learning about body management, load, all the way back in, you know, freaking 1997 or whatever it was. And so it's crazy now to see that we're still almost 30 years later, 25 years later, people are still acting that way. That's amazing. So sorry, that was a little bit of a rant, but
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else, guys? Sorry, my little baby's cracking me up.
Is United Soccer Coaches? I know when USSF kind of went through their fun of redoing all their courses, they spawned a little bit off onto United Soccer Coaches at the time in terms of state licenses and Ds and stuff like that. Now that USSF has kind of restructured things, are you guys still working some of that stuff out, or is that have they kind of taken that stuff back?
So Ian hasn't said they're taking it back. I think they still like the fact that we have people that are available to do it. To be honest, I think they like other people doing their job for them, if you want to know the truth. I think the federation's an absolute joke. I think they're worthless, to be quite honest. And I mean, I hate to say that as a freaking board member. I maybe that probably doesn't need to get out too much. I don't like the management of what they're trying to accomplish with the federation. The reality is we don't know what they're trying to accomplish with the federation, right? So I think if they can allow us to continue to give courses, they're going to continue to do so until they feel like we're making more money than them off of it, and we're doing better things than them, then they'll want to take it back. Does that make sense? So I think right now you can still kind of work through us on that. I always encourage people to take courses through United Soccer Coaches. I think you'll find a much more, what's the best word for it? A much more user-friendly coaching staff than a traditional federation. Warren Cottle's a unique person. He's an extremely wonderful, great high school guy, an incredible USSF instructor. There's not a lot of those guys out there. Let's put it that way. It's very much an egotistical trip on trying to get you to buy into something and teach you a certain way to coach the game that falls inside a little square, if that makes sense. What else can you guys think of?
I would say, like, on another note, and I don't have a skin in the game, so you know, I'm not with the United Soccer Coaches or USSF on this one, but for the TASCO members in here, I do know last year when I got to vote for my All Americans and all region, like, it was, you know, all region being like Texas, New Mexico, stuff like that. It was pretty slim pickings overall. I think there were only 9 people that were put up for it. It was one of those where, you know, we had a pretty crummy year, so I didn't really feel good about putting any of our players up when we were getting our butts hammered in our district play. But after looking at the people who were nominated, I was like, you know, I was really, you know, that was a tough look when I look at some of those players who ended up as an all-region or all-American. I was like, well, shoot, that kid wouldn't even start for me.
Right. And that's the unfortunate thing dealing with this sometimes is we have to go out and find people to put. It's like anything else, right? Every year you hear about kids who didn't apply for certain scholarships. There's millions of dollars in scholarships that don't get applied for. And it's very much the same thing. We run into the exact same deal.
For that $90 for United Soccer Coaches, I mean, you're not going to find money better spent. Typically what I do is, because our district will pay for one of our licenses, I'll pay for TASCO out of pocket and then ask them to pay for this. Just because it's the $90 versus the $55 it was this year. But even without that, I've been paying my United Soccer Coaches for a while, just because of, like I said, through the education aspect that's on there, and they've really been expanding that part of it. But even, just putting your players up for player of the week or something like that. I mean, it gives them a lot of recognition and things like that. And United Soccer coaches are paired up, or partnered, I should say, with NCAA. So all the rankings that come out for NCAA do come from United Soccer coaches. And so, when a player can say, "Hey, I was all region United Soccer coaches or all American United Soccer coaches," that's also speaking the language of the coaches who are going out to recruit the players, since they do have that partnership. So, like I said, it's the 125 started getting a little bit steep, but I'm glad Tasco stepped in and made a partnership with United Soccer coaches to get that down. I mean, $90 for what you can get in return, that's a pretty good deal. Especially, I mean, shoot, the sessions alone are worth it. But your job searches, your rankings, again, you're all regional American, player of the week. I mean, it's
endless. Yeah, it's endless. How much resources available. It's overwhelming, to be quite honest. Being a part of it and trying to keep it all together and grasp it all. I thought I knew a lot about United Soccer coaches when I got into this, and now being on the board, it's overwhelming trying to keep up with everything. It's absolutely crazy. But it's really great to have Tasco. Even as I was a part of that for so long, it's really cool to see the relationship now renew and see the benefits for everybody as we go through all that. And the people that we get to send from United Soccer coaches to keep working with Tasco is really cool to be able to see Ian and Vince continue to grow that relationship on the education side for you guys.
Yeah, Vince came to North Texas 2 summers ago and ran a high school diploma out of Prosper there. And he did a fantastic job. But I think he was actually I'm not sure if he was there last year with us or not. I'm not sure I know Dave Newberry was there again.
Yeah, I think Newberry did it last year.
I'm not sure if Vince was there, but anytime you can see Vince, I mean, he's worth watching. He does a really good job.
I'm going to flip off that share there so I can stop seeing you on the corner of my screen. There we go. That's better. Yeah, okay, here's something. Let me see the chat. Mandy's in. Okay, that was just for all of you. All right, you put that in there. Cool. Oh, Lord. What was that picture of Kruger just popped up from your...
I'm logged into Kruger's account for the admin.
Ah, nice. I was like, what in the heck?
Yeah, usually it says Warren Cottle, and there you go. We can all look at pretty Jimmy.
All worship Jimmy. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, no. Anything else you guys can think of? Let's see what else.
Coach, I'm gonna end the recorded portion of it. So thank you again for your time.